I am the Director of Children's Ministry. Scott is away this week at the Board of Ordained Ministry. Let us start with prayer tonight. God, I ask that you be with us. Let us learn how we can restore and keep the love in our relationships with you and with others as the hourglass keeps on running. Lord, speak through me as I share the sermon tonight. Amen. Amen. Tonight's scripture is found in the Gospel of Matthew, Matthew 22, 34 through 40. When the Pharisees heard that Jesus had left the Sadducees speechless, they met together. One of them, a legal expert, tested him. "Teacher, what is the greatest commandment in the law?" He replied, "You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your being, and with all your mind. This is the first and greatest commandment. And the second commandment is like it. You must love your neighbor as you love yourself. All the law and the prophets depend on these two commandments." Tonight, we're going to continue our sermon series, Before I Die. What will you leave behind if your time is short? Would it make a difference on how you lived if you only had a year? Last week, Scott talked about leaving a legacy, and tonight is all about relationships. Relationships take the most time and the most effort. Your number one relationship is with God. Why? Because Jesus said so in the Gospel of Matthew. If the relationship with God isn't right, none of your others will be. Second is with everyone else, your friends, your family, your neighbors, your co-workers. Relationships are hard. We cannot live with them, and we cannot live without them. We cannot do life on our own. We need people walking, running, and sitting beside us all the time. Your relationship with God comes first, so come to church. It helps. The church teaches us how to live our lives better. We know we're not in it alone, and we have the people walking, running, and sitting beside us. Read your Bible, or listen for what God is telling you to do. There's always that feeling when you know you need to do something. If your relationship isn't right with God, fix it first. Because if it isn't right with God, it will not be right with anyone else. When you love God first, it's easier to love others. We are going to explore some ways tonight we can love our neighbors. First, we must love deeply. 1 Peter 4:8 says, "Above all, show sincere love to each other, because love brings about forgiveness of many sins." We must show love to each other. This is one of the hardest parts. As the scripture said, it covers my sins and theirs. Think about that for a second. It's not just my sins, it's their sins that you have to love as well. And we love them even though we know their sins. Now that is love. So how do you love deeply with your sins and theirs? There's 5 love languages. First, gifts. Receiving gifts. Who does not like to receive a gift? Some people do in here. Visible symbols of love. Something I can hold. Something that I can say, "Hey, look, they were thinking of me." For example, Micah and Tammy went and bought Donnie's donuts yesterday to the church staff, and we ate those faster than anything. And we talked and we explored the different donuts together, and we enjoyed each other and each other's company. Time. Spending undivided time with them. Could be watching TV, could be having dinner, or if nothing else, just being in the same room was number 2. Number 3. This is the one I resonate with the most. Positive words. Verbal compliments and words of appreciation. Words can change your whole life or a person's look on life. I recently went to my 10-year class reunion over Christmas. I know, 10 years goes by. And I was sitting with some of my friends, some who I've known since I was 2 and 3 years old. And we were talking about one of our classmates and what a hard life he had. But he was the one that gave me one of the best compliments I have ever received. We were walking to chemistry class one day, and we were seniors and getting ready to graduate, and we both needed to get through chemistry to graduate. And he goes, well, what do you want to do after we graduate? I said, well, at the time, I want to be a youth minister. That's where I felt God was calling me to be, and that's what I felt God was calling me to do. And he looked at me, he stopped, and he looked at me, and he goes, you're going to do really well at that, and I hope you succeed, and I hope you enjoy it. And I have remembered those words since he said them. And he was one of my only friends who verbally told me that I could do it. If we could have all been that honest in high school like he was, think about how differently things would have changed. And I was telling my friends this as well, and they said, well, I always felt like a better person after talking to you. Or you were one of the only ones that was nice to me. Well, you should have told me then. But I also had the opposite happen to me, the negative. One of my best friends in high school, we were sitting down one night talking, and she looked at me and she goes, I don't think you can do it. You're nothing like the youth director that we have now. You're nothing like the pastors that we have now. I don't think you can do it. And sadly, that relationship was lost, but look where I am now. Number 4, service and devotion. Acts of service, things that you can do for someone, like their chores, washing the car, or doing the dishes before they can even realize that you have done it. Number 5, touch. Giving somebody a hug. Hugging somebody and you may not even realize that you need a hug, or holding their hand when they're sad or when they're upset. So what is your love language? Think about it for a second. How do you respond to love? How do the people you love respond to the way that you love them? And here might be one way to figure it out. Sometimes it is easier to say, I love you, than it is to show them that we love them. 1 John 3:8 says, little children, let's not love with words or speech, but with action and truth. Have you ever noticed when a little child loves something, they love it with their whole heart? Their blanket, their stuffed animal, or their pacifier. And when it goes missing, their whole world falls apart. They love it with their whole heart. Is it possible to love something with your whole heart? Think about it. That's a lot of love. I saw this Max Lucado quote on a Kidman Instagram and thought it might be helpful for us to remember to love with our whole hearts. Love like there is no tomorrow, and if tomorrow comes, love again. To make love last, we must also forgive irrationally. The second point tonight. This doesn't make sense. Why? How do you love somebody who has hurt you? You can't hold a grudge, as Colossians 3:13 says. Be tolerant with each other, and if someone has a complaint against anyone, forgive each other. As the Lord forgave you, also forgive each other. The Lord forgave us. Now we must forgive like Him so that we can love each other. Don't miss that. God loves us so much that He forgave us. So now we have to forgive like Him. We must make peace in our relationships to forgive. We must have peace with our relationships, but we also must have peace within ourselves. How do you make peace in that relationship? Forgive them. Forgive irrationally. Forgive no matter what. We can always forgive when we still hurt. Can you forgive and still be angry? I think you can. I was in a situation where I had done what was right for me and for my life. And the person that I was telling started screaming and yelling, and it was not a good situation. It felt like hours. They realized what they had done, but the respect and relationship with that person had been lost. They asked for forgiveness at the time, and I said I did, but I'm not really sure I meant it. Now I have forgiven them and let go of the grudge, but it was really hard, and it did take some time. Time. You have 8,760 hours in a year. What do you do with them? Spend time with people. Doesn't always mean your blood relatives. Today's family has a new meaning. It could be a relationship from high school that needs working on, or a coworker, or maybe a family member. Time may also be taking time to think through what happened so you can truly heal. Love. Love them no matter what, which we have already talked about. But when your child screws up, when your brother makes a mistake, or a friend uses you, you love them anyway. How are those people going to remember you when you are gone? Will they know you loved them through it all, even if they don't at the time? One can hope they will realize it later, and you forgave them. Another great one, prayer. Prayer works. We ask for forgiveness through prayer, so ask God to help you repair the relationship. Or for the person you want back in your life, to see that they need you. Have someone else pray for them. For example, I'm excited about our new ministry that starts on Sunday, the Pray For Me campaign. It's adults and youth praying for the children here at the church. Right now we have 88 people participating, and I'm looking forward to seeing these wonderful relationships that will be built out of this ministry. Asking the church for prayer never hurts too. The church isn't just four walls, it's about the relationship too. Church is who we are, not where we go. We come to discover and deepen the relationship with God and each other, and demonstrate love to those we care about. So coming to church can help mend those relationships that need forgiveness in them too. Well, the worst one's my least favorite, confrontation. I am not good with confrontation. It's what district committee had me work on for candidacy this year. What that means is I am in the process of becoming an ordained deacon in the United Methodist Church. You go before committees and you go before boards before you can be ordained, and they give you growth assignments. One of my 3 growth assignments was conflict resolution. So I have been working on it. You must work out your situations in your relationships to be forgiven, which brings us to our next point. We must confront humbly or speak truthfully. As I said, my least favorite. I do not like confrontation. I don't like being told that I am wrong, but then who does? When someone else does something to hurt me, I have a hard time confronting them about it. I let it sit, I let it stir, and that is not a healthy way or the right way to handle it. But I have become better in the past 6 months. I have had help and now can speak up better for myself in most situations. Matthew 5:23 through 24 puts it, "Therefore, if you bring your gifts to the altar, and there remember that your brother or your sister has something against you, leave your gifts at the altar and go. First make things right with your brother or sister, and then come back and offer your gift." We must make things right with people. We need to ask people to speak truth in our lives, and we need to be able to confront others when there are issues. Who is the person or persons who have spoken truth into your life? I know my mom and my dad and my brother always have. But what friends have told you the truth? Who can you go to, or they will come to you and tell you, "You've messed up, now let us fix it." Listen to the people around you, who you trust, even when it is hard to hear, for they will also tell you when another relationship is not going well, or others in the relationship are manipulating you. These are the ones that say, "You've messed up," but are not willing to fix it, or they don't want to be fixed. I had a pastor at the church that I came from 3 years ago saw a relationship that I had, called me into her office and sat me down, and it's always scary going into the pastor's office because I was just the assistant who never had to see the pastors. And she started telling me all these things, and that they were using me, and that they were controlling, and there were all these different things that she started pointing out, and I'm sitting there going, I don't think so. I don't think that's right. I like where I am. I like what I'm doing. And sure enough, she was right. And I wish I would have listened to her then instead of waited. I have had friends tell me, do this because you love me. Do it because we're friends, and I will do this for you. And most of the time, they never did. Pay attention to the friendships where you feel used. Maybe the relationship needs some tweaking. I'm not saying to give up on it, but really listen when the ones you have always trusted tell you to do something right. Maybe put yourself in their shoes. Maybe there's issues you're unaware of, and you need to talk it out. Family life at home may not be good as you think. Work isn't going as planned, but they put on a front, they put on a face. So how can you help them? And what part can you play in this? Use your words. Say, I love you. Say, I'm proud of you. Those few little words can go a long way, and who doesn't like to hear those words? We are to love like God because God loves us. Make sure your relationships know that you love them. Every night I talk to my parents, one, if not both, on the phone. And before we hang up, I love you. Both my grandmothers, before I can even say it, I need to go, I love you. And they always make sure that I know it. What happens when you are gone or they are gone and they didn't know how you felt? They didn't know that you cared about them or that you truly loved them. Don't give up. When we get bored or tired, we may have trouble finding the energy to think about other people. But good things happen when we act without selfishness. Paul tells the Galatians, let's not get tired of doing good, because in time we will have a harvest if we don't give up. In other words, don't get tired of doing good things for people. He says that working for the good of other people will produce good results. Loving people keeps us from becoming selfish. We must love like Jesus. We must give our whole hearts to Christ. We must give our whole hearts to Christ first, so that we can work on the other ones. Like Jesus said in the Gospel of Matthew, love God first with your whole heart, your whole being, and your whole mind. So who do you need to forgive? What relationship needs mending? Who do you need to love because God loves you, period. In the last 30 days of his life, Jesus was denied, betrayed, lied about, beaten, falsely accused, and crucified. But from the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. There is only one way that Jesus could do this. He loved God first. And we know this because of the cup and of the bread.